Hello, credit union community. In a recent episode of Grow Your Credit Union, I sat down with Trent Henson, the CIO at Pure IT, and Kyle Stutzman, the SVP of Product Strategy at Kinective, and we talked about how credit unions can connect more quickly, more securely with fintech partners using a tool from Pure IT called PureGuardian. Let's take a look at that conversation right now. Guys, we talked about a lot of things today, but really it comes down to credit unions with a lot of different vendors, a lot of different systems, a lot of different connections, a lot of vulnerabilities. Pure IT does have a solution called PureGuardian. Trent, I want to kick things off with you. It's a really cool name, but what is PureGuardian?
What is PureGuardian? Well, to make it very simple, it's a device that the credit union can put on their side that doesn't take any of their knowledge to configure. Anybody can plug it in, and it connects them to one or more fintechs securely. You hear that a lot, and that was part of this conversation. Oh, it's secure. I'm happy. I'm good. So because we have been asked to help so many credit unions with connectivity, one side, the vendor controls their side of it, credit union controls their side, fingers are always pointing at whose problem it is. We developed this product simply because everyone was having this problem. And we decided to put into it all the things that an examiner needs, the board wants, the risk team sees. So a simple attestation report in English that everyone can understand can be generated at any time they want, and it's digitally signed. What that means is they can prove that the report they have in their hand is the same report that was issued when it first came out. So now we know no one has tampered with it, no one has changed anything, and we maintain chain of custody for that information. There's a lot more to it, but to make it simple, credit union can use it to bring in fintechs safely.
Well, that documentation piece now, Trent, you kind of defend me from the examiner a little bit, no?
I do, and we even have the ability for the examiner to log in directly for each credit union and look at anything they want. It's read-only, it's safe, but they can run the reports. They can look at attestation for 2 years ago if they want. So we made it so the examiners would be happy.
Kyle, something that comes to mind with what Trent said about PureGuardian, there's a couple phrases in the industry that, you've heard them so many times they make you a little sick. I got to talk about them with my therapist. I'm tired of talking about it, but time to value. When I think about all the vendors and I think about all the credit unions, we need time to value, time to value. Something like PureGuardian is really helping with time to value, no? Because it seems like we could get up and running way quicker.
Yeah, I mean, I'll add in here, from a Kinective perspective. And before I was with Janesy, a founder and CEO of Janesy, and that came, out of some Pure IT discussions and movement and launching. Anyway, the point here is we were doing hundreds of connections. How do we have a way to know that we're trusted? We tried with some independent, standard firewall devices and such before. And the challenge goes back to a whole layered items of issues, but one of them is supply chain. One of the things we repeatedly get is how do you protect from supply chain concerns while also, to your point, time to value of being able to scale for at least one institution, but also for hundreds of institutions. And so we were looking for a solution, had gone, and Trent was developing this. We were early adopters of it at the time. And this is a solution that from ground up, the firmware, the software, everything's on it. So that layer of accountability and the supply chain is, tracked and known. You also know exactly how the deployment happens in a way that is sustainable, repeatable, and as he said, auditable. So you see all these components. So you're able to take basically like a web form, fill in the information. We're happy with the idea. Doesn't it also have IP address conflicts, all this stuff? This is designed for the industry. And so it's a way, when we're talking hundreds now, but we're now moving towards the thousands. We have a couple partners that are working with so many credit unions and some community banks, which we'll leave off to the side, but so many credit unions that they need to have a solution that you can go and put in and you're working on it within days or a week, not 2 months, and not struggling through it. And I say that because it's not, the speed to value isn't just about that design, it's also about, and the reporting, there's visibility during installation. So one of the biggest challenges when you go to do a new connection is, why isn't it working? If that question gets asked, that's like a death toll to an implementation timeline, because everyone has to dive in to try to figure out why. And so one of the strong and important things that we saw in PureGuardian is they're able to capture information right at the edge of the device that's also talking to the credit union. And so within a short period of time, the same kinds of things they do in assessments, but just in a microcosm, they're capturing that information to say, we see information going here, but not coming back, or we see information going there, but coming back from a different place. Now, that may indicate a major problem or a minor problem, but what it does say is we know where the problem is. They know whether the fintech, or us, Kinective in this case, is actually communicating all the way through, getting to the device and getting into the next hop, or they know whether the institution. So long-winded to say, there is that visibility is so much more important than just security. It's also in that speed to value implementation and being able to handle either hundreds of credit unions or hundreds of fintechs and still be able to manage it and have that visibility.
Thank you for watching. If you're interested in learning more about PureGuardian or PureIT, head over to pureitqso.com. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.